Hey friends, and welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about Germany. You'll be hearing a lot about Germany because that's, like I said in the first Q&A, this is like the main reason that I started a vlog. So here is part 2 of our Q&A. So I asked you guys what questions you have for us, and you guys asked us some questions and helped me kind of like talk about it, which is really important to me because I feel like talking about it, planning, making lists, all of those things are really helping me cope with this huge life change. So I'm gonna just kind of be talking a little bit more. This will probably be a really short video. So, because there was only a few more questions, a lot of questions were repeated, so there weren't a ton of questions left after part 1, and then I'm just going to talk a little bit more about some things that are changing for us and things like that. No, I'm still not pregnant. No, I probably will not be pregnant ever again. Okay, actually it's more like a for sure thing. I will not be pregnant again. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into this because like I said, I kind of wanted this one to be a little bit shorter of a video. Okay, so the first question was, do y'all plan to live off post or on post? So we actually cannot live off post in Germany. I think it's different and at different bases or posts. Y'all, I've been a military wife for 5 years and I still don't know the difference between a base and a post, so that tells you how good I am. Anyways, so you actually cannot live off post where we will be at, which is in Wiesbaden. So we will be living on post. We will, like I said in the previous video, we will be living in what is called flats or stairwells, or a stairwell, which is an apartment. So definitely a big adjustment. Second question is, have you met anyone there yet? I have a friend stationed there now. So actually I have a friend on Instagram that I've followed and she's followed me for a minute, but she is actually from Wiesbaden. Like, she grew up there, and now she's here in the States. She actually might be stationed here. If she is, I'm gonna, see, now I gotta go back and look because I would really love to connect with her. Anyways, we met on Instagram and she's from Wiesbaden. We've kind of chatted a little bit back and forth. And she's definitely like helped me a lot. She's given me kind of the rundown of things. She told me that she feels, you know, safe there, because that was one thing I was concerned about, was our safety. So she said it's super safe there. It's a lot slower paced, things like that. So yes, and then I actually have followed a couple of people who are currently stationed there or who have been stationed there. So the internet is kind of a crazy thing because you can find just about anything out about anybody. So yeah, I found some people. Okay, the next question. Do you get to have your cars in Germany or will you leave them here? Ooh, that's a good question. So the military will ship one car for you. We plan on taking our Explorer just because that is our newer car. Darren's car is paid off, so we're still not 100% sure what we're gonna do with it. We don't know if we're gonna sell it, if we're gonna let somebody borrow it for the time that we're in Germany. We're thinking we're gonna sell it because Darren would like to get a truck when we come back to the States. Because when we come back to the States, our Explorer will be paid off. So we've never done the 2-car payment thing. We've always only had one. So while, you know, the Focus has been a great car and all, I think a truck would be much more fitting for our family. So we'll have our family car and then Darren will also have his truck when we come back. So that was a super side like story. I'm so sorry. I've got to get better at this, guys. But anyway, so yeah, so we will have our Explorer in Germany with us. I've heard our Explorer is going to be too big, but I'm not taking the Focus because the Focus is tiny, and you know, it's just one of those things where I don't want to be driving a teeny tiny car with 2 growing boys and a shepherd and things like that. So definitely taking the Explorer, which I've also heard most people only take one car because you are only assigned one parking space. So yes, one car, we'll be taking our Explorer. Next question. Next question. What are some things you're nervous about? You know, I think just living in a different country, I think that itself is kind of nerve-wracking. I'm nervous about the language barrier, but I am doing something called Duolingo. It's an app, and trying to learn some German. The only thing that I know, I'm about to embarrass myself, is, I don't even think I'm saying it right. It's Ich bin ein Mann, which I'm pretty sure I'm saying I am a man. So that's all I've learned. Oh, I think saying I am a woman is Ich bin ein Frau, I think. I don't know, guys. I just probably embarrassed myself. It's fine. But yeah, I'm a little nervous about the language barrier. I'm nervous about driving in a different country. I'm gonna have to get my license in Germany, like a temporary license for Germany. And if you are my friend, my close friend, so Faith Bradley, I am a terrible driver and she will back that up 100%. I hate driving. It is not my favorite thing to do in the world. But yeah, so I will have to get my Germany license, which is kind of scary. The roads are a little different there. But yeah, I guess that's really... Oh, and then living in an apartment. I've never lived in an apartment before, so that's gonna be a little different for us, I think. Having a dog and 2 small kids. I'm like, how do people do this? Like, if I have to take Sierra potty, I've gotta load up everybody and like go take her potty. So it's like, if one kid is sick, or like, what if they're sleeping? Like, what do I do? This is first world problems, y'all. But anyway, so those are just a few things I'm nervous about. If you hear my children screaming in the background, welcome to our home. Okay. Whoa, what are some things you are excited for? Okay, I'm glad that you asked that too. So that it wasn't just like what I'm like scared or nervous of. So I guess what I'm like the most excited about is traveling. I am so excited to travel, and I think that's kind of what's grounded me into all of this, is that we are gonna get to see and do so many amazing things that like we wouldn't have been able to do without this opportunity. So I'm really excited. I think the first place we plan on going is Barcelona, Spain. It's only about, I can't remember if it was 9 or 12 hours. Whatever, a car drive away. We found a really nice hotel there that has military discounts and is already very well priced. And yeah, guys, I'm so excited to go take my family to Barcelona, Spain. So that'll probably be the first thing that we do. But I mean, honestly, there's so much stuff, y'all. I have a Pinterest board. I'm up until like 12 o'clock, like trying, you know, to find different things that we want to do and things like that. So I think traveling is definitely something I'm most excited for. And say the second thing I'm most excited for, and I think this is a little more like bittersweet, is kind of downsizing. So if you followed us for a while, then you know that we try to live a minimalist lifestyle. Side story, ever since I've lost weight, I've really struggled with this because I'm struggling to get rid of my clothes that are too big for me. I have a very different, odd attachment to them that I didn't have to clothes before. So that's kind of been difficult. But back into what I was talking about. If, you know, when we make this move and we live in an apartment, or if we live in an apartment, which I'm pretty sure we will, it's like 99.99% sure we will live in an apartment on post, we will have to downsize, and that's something I will touch back on. So I'm excited about it, but it's also, like I said, I'll touch on it again, it's bittersweet. And then, you know, just kind of like getting to experience different cultures and things like that. I mean, like I said, this is an opportunity we would normally have not had. And so that's kind of how I'm choosing to see it. And I'm really excited. So, and I think that was the last question. Yeah. All right, so now I'm just gonna kind of talk a little bit about some things that we have kind of realized as we're starting to make this move and things like that. I've gotten a few messages that are like, girl, this move is still 9 months away, you've got time, you know, so true. But if you are in the military, if you're a military spouse, you know that things are changing all the time. Paperwork takes forever and a day. Paperwork gets lost. I mean, it's just, y'all, it's crazy. So we are trying our best to stay on top of things. Also, it really, like, planning and talking to people and, you know, making lists and all these things, it just kind of helps me cope. So that's kind of why I've started like making this jump and kind of just getting all this stuff together, is because it, number one, it helps me, but number two, I think in the military, you have to stay on top of things. Otherwise, it can just get really chaotic really quickly. Again, I'm not 100% sure because this will be our first PCS together. Like I said, we got married in Texas and then we were shipped here and we didn't have a lot of stuff. So it was kind of just like, and we didn't have kids, so it was so easy. Like, we just loaded up the little Focus and drove from Texas to Washington. But now we're gonna be, you know, going to a totally different country and things like that. And we've got 2 little kids and a dog and, you know, so we're just gonna kind of, you know, stay on top of things. But anyways, something we have noticed is, like I said, we're gonna be downsizing a lot. So we are gonna be having to get rid of our couch, which I am so sad about, because if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that couch was the first thing that we purchased together as a married couple. That was our first piece of furniture that we purchased. We had some really old couches that were so old that there was an actual picture of my sister holding me when I was like a fresh newborn baby. So that's how old, and I'm 24 now, so, you know, like 20, 21-year-old couches. Definitely had a lot of life to them. So that was our first thing that we ever purchased, and I'm just so sad that we're gonna have to downsize and rehome this couch. I mean, y'all, it's huge. It is a huge couch. We don't have a huge house, but I mean, we have a decent sized living area, so it fit really perfectly. And so yeah, so that's gonna be kind of sad to say goodbye to, I guess. And then the other thing I'm realizing is that we're gonna have to like actually buy furniture. Like, we don't have a lot of furniture. I don't think our dresser would even make it down the stairs. We got this thing, I can't remember if it was free or if it was like really cheap, but it's basically like going in like this. Looks like slanted. It's missing screws and some of the doors don't shut. So we're just gonna go ahead and toss that to the curb and you know, have to get a new dresser. And then the boys actually don't have a dresser. So fun fact, we either like hang their stuff up or they've got like a little teeny tiny dresser downstairs in Darren's office. And that's where we keep their clothes, but they don't actually have a dresser. And then we're gonna have to get the boys bunk beds because they don't actually have beds. They have their crib-sized mattresses, which Matthew is 3, almost 4, so it's time for him to move into a twin-sized bed. But we're gonna get them bunk beds because the rooms there are very tiny. Like I said, we're downsizing quite a bit. So I feel like bunk beds will just kind of make use of their space a little bit better. And, you know, they'll actually have a bed because here they have floor beds. So their mattresses are just on the floor side by side because they love to sleep next to each other. And we'll end up using a crib mattress for Sierra's dog bed because Sierra doesn't have a dog bed. So it's just, I mean, we're kind of just realizing how much stuff that we were like, wow, we actually kind of like just made it through when it came to furniture and things like that. So yeah, so we're gonna have to do that, get some rugs and things like that because none of the floors have carpet and it's freezing there. I've heard that the floors heat up and then I've heard that the floors don't heat up, so I don't know if it depends on different stairwells or flats, but definitely going to need to get some carpet of some kind, or like rugs or something like that. So just like little things like that. Let me see, look at my notes. Oh, and then the last thing that we're gonna have to downsize, y'all, because my husband is bougie. Homeboy walked into Costco and saw this, like, I think it's a 65-inch TV on sale. And when I walked past this thing and he showed it to me, I was like, absolutely not. That thing is ridiculously big, like super obnoxious. No, we don't need a TV that big. We got a TV that big. And now we're moving into a tiny 1,000 square foot or smaller flat, and it's just gonna be way too big. And so we're gonna have to sell our TV and get a smaller TV. And I'm just like, there are so many things that we have here in the States that I'm like, do we really need this? Like, you know, because we're going there and, you know, downsizing. And so it's just been kind of a crazy thing to realize how much stuff you have. So yeah, so that's just kind of where we are. I am still feeling all the emotions, but one thing I can definitely land on and say is that I am so excited. We talk about it every single day, and how excited we are to travel and to just kind of, you know, do something new, because we've been in Washington for 5 years, and we kind of say this was like our learning place. We learned a lot here. There was a lot of hurt here. There was a lot of learning experiences and falling down and getting back up and things like that. I think one thing we can agree on is the best thing we got out of Washington was the fact that our 2 boys were born here. So we started our family here, but there was definitely a lot of learning done in Washington, and I think we're ready to take that learning and our experiences from here and take that somewhere else. And I just think it's really cool that we're gonna get to take all of that and go to Germany and travel together and be a family there and, you know, just live our lives. So definitely excited. But yeah, so that was it for Germany Q&A part 2. I'm gonna try and do a little more vlogging just so I can get used to it, you know, vlogging around Germany and things like that. But I'm like, what is so interesting about my life right now that anybody would be interested in seeing? Because half the time I'm telling one kid to get his hands out of his pants and the other one to get his hands out of his nose. So our lives are not that interesting. But maybe you will think so, I don't know. But anyways, thank you for following along and watching this vlog. I'm super excited to be sharing with you guys, and that is my cue to go, because that is my 1-year-old. So thank you, and we will see you next time. Did you have a good nap?
No.
You didn't have a good nap?
Yeah.
Do you want to go walking?
Yeah.
You want to go on a walk?